For more updates, click on subscribe and click on bell button for latest notifications. Hi friends, welcome to Tech ARK IT YouTube channel. My name is Ravi. In this video session, we are going to see that how to create a standard partitions in RHEL 8.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
So basically, if you see a hard disk, example, this is my hard drive here. In this, if you want to make some partitions, so how you can make it? So there are partitions you can make it over here. It is that there are some limitations, or there are some partition types we have to create. You have to understand before creating the partitions. So example, in these partitions, if you want to create all of them as in a primary partitions, the primary partitions can only be created as 4. So one is primary partition 1, primary partition 2, primary partition 3, and primary partition 4. So like this, if you want to create all of them as a primary partitions, then you can only create 4. But in case if you want to create more than 4 partitions, then you have to create something like this. So the partitions will be, so one primary partition and second primary partition, and third would be going to be an extended partition. So here this just going to create a extended partition. So from this extended partitions, you can make so many logical partitions over here. So in this you can make a number of logical partitions. So example, if you take here, this is a primary partition 1 and primary partition 2, this is an extended partition. These are the logical partitions L1, L2, L3, L4, something like that. If you have a VDI disks like the virtual disk, you can create up to 15 partitions on the virtual. But if you have a physical direct partitions, it may create a lot of partitions on this extended. But those many small partitions, most of the times we do not create. Based on the size, we require few partitions only. So this is how you can make the partitions on the hard drive. After this, you can convert them into the different partition types. Like example, say that Linux file system, or the LVM file system type, or the swap file system, or the different file system types. So but end of the as a partitions, you can only create this way, or maybe you can also create only primary and extended, remaining all logical partitions you can create. So this is how we can make the partitions on the hard drive. Let's see that how we can create them, create the partitions practically. Let's see that. So let's jump into the practical and see how we can create the partitions over here. So example, here I have the RHEL 8. so here I'm just going to use fdisk-l. I have a new partition which is 5 GB in this. So you can also see lsblk. So there is a new disk, NVMe 0 N2 is the disk is available with the 5 GB in size. So here you can use a different method to create the partitions. So one is called maybe you can use a different utilities called parted. Like parted also you can use to create the partitions. Example, say that parted and use the device name. So what is the device name here? You can just go ahead and select this device name, and here you can use this. So as print, so there is no partition available currently. So this is an NVMe device, and no partition table is available. So if you want to make the new partition table here, you can simply say mk label and partition type. So this partition type here, there are so many partitions types is available here. So we can use, most of the times we use only MS-DOS, or another one is a GPT. So GPT can be used to extend the larger partition types, example more than 2.5 TB in size, so that you can use this GPT type. So I am going to use that GPT here. So now you can just print it, and you can see that there is a partition table available, a partition table called GPT. So here if you want to make the partition, you can just use MKPart. So here you can specify the start and end blocks, or the start and end size. But if you do not wanted to make the entire command, MKPart is also assist you with the partitions, how you can make. Just MKPart and enter. So here it asks you for the partition name. Do you want to give any partition name? So I don't want to give any, but if you want to give partition type, the file system type is, I just give ext4. And where do you want the starting size? So maybe I can give 1000 or 100 MB, so which is megabyte. And end size, how much you wanted to give. Example, you have 5 GB in that case, so I wanted to give maybe 2 GB from that. So I can give you 2048 megabytes, so that it gives you 2 GB in size. So now the just print here, and you can see that the partition has been created from 105 MB to 2147 MB. The size is 2043 MB in size. The file system is ext4. And you can just quit here, and you can see lsblk, the partition has been created here. So here, in order to do that, udev adm settle is the command you have to type in order to update the kernel here. So there is a new partition created here. You can see that that is 1.9 GB in size. So now you have to just format that with the new file system and mount it. So this is one way you can create the file system. So another way is that you can also use the new utility called gdisk and /dev/ the part device name here, and you can go and you can see that there is a already existing partition. If you want to delete that partition, you can go and say delete. So the partition has been deleted here. So now what you can do, in order to, if you want to get the help, you can just type the question mark here, and you will get the all the options. So now if you want to create the new partition, just say n, just like an fdisk, and partition number, which partition number do you want to use. So the partition number 1 to 128, any number. So I want to use a default partition number 1. So now it is asking that what is your first sector. So the first sector is already set, you don't need to do anything, just enter. And it is asking that what is your last sector. So how much size you wanted to create, example. So here if you want to create a 2 GB in size, so I just give 2G, so that the 2 GB size will be created. So here the current file system size, the file system type is Linux file system. So here if you want to see the exa codes in RHEL 8, the exa codes are changed. You can see this, these are the exa codes. So currently I am going to create the Linux partition which is 8300, and if you want to change it to LVM, you can use 8E00, or if you want to create maybe something like swap or a different file system, then refer this. For this table, from this you have to use appropriate file system which you wanted to create. But now I do not want to change it, just enter, so that the file system is not changed. So it is Linux file system. Now you can see that the start sector is 2048 and end sector is the 4 lakhs, something like that, and the size is 2 GB. So the code is 8300 Linux file system. Now enter say write and say yes to confirm the partition has been created successfully. So in order to update the kernel, so you have to run udev adm settle. So this will make the partition updated to the kernel. So partition table is updated, so you can see that there is a partition has been created. Now if you want to make the file system and you wanted to mount it permanently, then you have to use here mkfs.ext4. so what is the file system we would like to create here, then you can give the partition path. So this is the partition path here, p1, and create the file system. File system has been created. Now you have to mount it. So in order to mount, you have to create the one directory. Example, say here I just created data, and in order to mount you can use either ways like direct path or uid. UUID, you can make anything. So if you want to make with the UID, you can type blkid is the now one. Then here you will get the UUID. You just copy this UUID from here to here, enter UID and edit /etc/fstab, and here in the end of this enter the UID without quotations and add the mount point and add the file system type which you want to use it, ext4, which you have already formatted, defaults and 0 and 0 or 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 makes like error check and the file system check whenever your system has been rebooted. So in order to edit this fstab updates, so what you have to do, you have to run system demand reload to update the fstab file system. So here what happens, whenever you add any entry onto the fstab, it will generate an amount, the mount configuration which is used by the system d-fstab generator. So which going to be run system d system generator. So which is going to be in system d and generator cd generator. Here you can see that there are some partitions already exist. So you can see that cat hyphen dot mount, maybe I can show you how you can see this. This is in a slash partition. So now you can see that the partition has been mounted. So now you can go here and see there is a mount has been generated. No, it's not generated. So now I have added the new partition, but that is not reflected here. So in order to do that, so what you have to do, so you have to use sr lib system d system generator system d fstab generator and generate the destination path is /run system d generator, and in arguments you have to give like this, then it will generate all of the files here. So you can see this like boot.mount, data.mount is the latest one. So you can just get that data.mount, you can see that. So this is how the fstab generator will be generated. Partitions you can create it and you can mount it and you can use it. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Please subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos and courses. Thanks for watching the video. Follow us on social networking site. Facebook page is at Linux Arkit. It's www.facebook.com/linuxarkit. You can see this URL and you can just go ahead and click on this like button so that you can follow us on Facebook page updates. Next one, the social networking site is Instagram. Instagram ID is arkit.co.in. You can follow us on Instagram as well for the latest notifications. Twitter.com/ARKARavikumar48. So this is the Twitter account. You can follow us for the latest tweets and updates. For latest articles, if you want to see any new articles which is published on my blog and website, you can go here, which is the blog is https://server-computer.com. Website is https://arkitco.in. and email address, if you have any queries and questions, you can contact me via email like which is aravikumar48@gmail.com. Official address is aravi@server-computer.com. so last but not least, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Tech Arkit YouTube channel.